back at the dyno, a different dyno this time, and well, I think we're in a better spot. Andy, did you bring the spare set of ECUs? You can't really hear that, but Andy's really prepared. That's what he said. So right now what we've got is everything open, because the last time we did this, I kind of wished it was like this. So now we're really prepared. So we've got access to fuse boxes, access to all of the vacuum lines in the manifold. Exhaust will not be smoking, and we've got everything ready to roll. So we also have removed the front bumper because we will be getting more airflow to the front. These fancy ass purple shoes to match the car. We're kind of close. It's pretty dead on, you know. I also got the purple on the royalty shirt here, so. I like the setup we've got right now. I really think the new exhaust design just really, it makes it look so much better. It sounds better. It sounds more elevated.
I just hope it works this time.
Because we went up in basically. These cars take time to adjust. One of the issues that we have right now is that we had to completely disassemble the car to fix some things in the dash. So, you know, the battery's disconnected and everything, so it needs to drive, right? And if it had the body panels on, I would have drove it around before, but it didn't, so I just let it, we'll just do it on the dyno.
There's a lot of heat, there's a lot of pressure, and this is our AFR tube for the wideband AFR from the dyno. We just can't get it to stay on. Good news is they're not relying on this data, just a separate piece of information for them to look at.
We haven't tuned it yet. They're just running it until the car stops making power on the stockpile. It's made more like every pull. So I think the car's just adapting.
Having actual traction issues? It seems like it. Where are we at now?
I don't know.
Horsepower wise?
No,
pressure.
We can't go too low because we're going 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
Oh, we're at 42, so
we
could drop it to 35. Oh, we just want to get a little bit more traction on the dyno because the squarer your tires get, the less contact patch. So if you let them out a little bit, when they have pressure on them, they widen, so you get a little bit more contact. One 868, 848. Torque, basically all about the same within a few RPM or a few points there. We've got some traction control issues. Doesn't really matter that much. We have our baseline tune and we're gonna average them all out. We're gonna call 850 and 975 for the, or 977 for the torque. This is our tuned ECUs. Now we have two sets. So I have a factory set of ECUs. Well, we have two factory sets, but one with a factory tune that we can easily swap in and swap out, and then one that is tuned now. So this is our first running tune. So we should probably get very low power on this one because as you see, we have to step it up, right? Already hear the verbals. Let's see, where are we at right there? Green is the latest one. So we lost a little bit, but this is actually good because like I told you guys, it's gonna go down and come back up. So we're at 818 and 878. So we've lost about 100 on each side. So now once we climb, we'll be back, we'll start to get there because it needs to acclimate like I was telling you guys. All right, we're on our way back up, 878, 976. So we're about even now with where we are, so let's see.
I was looking to see why after 3,000 or 3,500 RPM power drops, it kind of peaks and then tapers off and then builds back up. And I'm just trying to keep that trajectory going. So I found some maps where it shows that it's tapering off, adjusted those, and then added some more to the torque limit maps.
Now it's supposed to make more horsepower and have a little bit of a boom when it shifts. So we'll see. There's 7 timing maps. They all have to be adjusted accordingly. So he's starting to adjust them as we go.
It doesn't sound the same to me in there that it sounds outside. So to me, it's mostly just really strong air movement. I can hear the turbos a little bit at the beginning, but after it starts winding up a little bit, I can't hear them anymore, and I just hear a huge amount of air.
Torque limits, meaning it's limiting power. It looked like it was hitting a ceiling, so I'm raising the ceiling. I pulled some more timing and added some more fuel so we get some flames. So this should be all around better. I'm gonna look at the dynographs and clean it up and see where we're at now, what the delta is, and then see where we go from here. We'll probably have a lunch break soon though.
We have no issues this time. But besides a small little coolant leak, something popped off, I guess, whatever. No big deal. Fix that when we get back, but ultimately, I mean, we're just making the car better and better and better as we climb. So my goal is 4 digits on both sides. So we're over 4 digits on the torque, and we're about 80 horsepower away from 4 digits on the horsepower. So.
The tuner's pushed the wrong button and now the car won't start.
hard to explain, but this brake pedal builds up pressure and it needs to release the pressure. So the car thinks that the brake pedal is not being pressed right now. So you have to push it so hard, like that it doesn't make any sense. Okay, no more brake switch. Yeah. Hey, this has been an ongoing issue with this car for a while. He took the switch out. So you can
It's a switch that's depressed until you hit the brake pedal and it releases it.
It's 152 horsepower, 152 torque at 5,200 RPM. We still have plenty of room to go. So the next, more burbles, more boost. The bottom of the file is where all the codes are. All I'm doing is checking to make sure that there's no limits that I've missed. I found a couple things just now, which is the car limits torque if the fuel tank is low. So I'm trying to limit how much this car tries to preemptively limit power.
We have a problem, and the problem is a pretty big one. We're out of gas while the fuel light is on. And what a lot of people don't know, and I always thought this, but Matt just confirmed it. There is a torque limiter for low fuel. How cool is that, guys? Like, the torque limiter, when you get low on gas, so you don't blow up your motor with less fuel, that's crazy. The fuel is coming. One of the guys here helping us out went to go get 10 more gallons of 100 octane. He should be back any moment. Thank you. Diesel? Yep.
Look at the torque. Nice.
Wow. 1125, boys.
Wow, nice.
You can feel the power in that car. All right, we should raise it a little bit more. Like a little bit more. Let's get like 1100 and like 1200.
Can I compare it to what we came in with, just so I see?
Is there room in fuel?
That was too easy for you to make that much extra, so I know we got some room left. That was 300 more horsepower than where we started from. 350, really. We started at 818.
Yeah, that dip in the middle is completely gone.
16, 2011. Finally.
Yeah, finally, it's like you're not, you know.
Would like to run it again to see if it's still climbing.
Run it again. Let's run it again, see what happens. That was a major difference, obviously.
Yeah.
We all know that. So, all right, run it, Andy. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I mean, that's essentially right on top of each other. Two runs back to back. That's really good cooling and really good fuel.
All right. We now officially have the world's fastest Bugatti Veyron, period. Nobody has ever done what we've done, and it's pretty epic. We made so much more power on the last run that now I think we can actually make more. We've been inching 20 here, 20 there, 20 here, 20 there for this is the probably the 15th, if not the 20th hour of dyno that we've had with the SCUBA car. And Matt, not me. I did nothing here except scream. He's cracked the code.
Who wants to race a Chiron?
And we'll see if we can get someone to loan us a Chiron.
You know how much the Chiron's supposed to make at the field?
If we get Chiron,
way bigger turbos.
yeah, it has double the fuel injectors. It has double the fuel injectors this car has. Chiron could probably make 2,000
Isn't
horsepower
it like
then.
10 years newer at least?
Wait. I mean, this is a 2006 car,
Oh, okay, yeah.
but 18 is the
yeah.
first Chiron, so it's 12 years newer.
Probably running brushless fuel system. What is this? Is brushless?
I don't know.
So you're maybe limited with fuel, even with bigger turbos on this one.
I mean, there's 2 per cylinder 1,050cc injectors on this car, so it's running 2,100 cc's per cylinder. It was in the ocean, and it was on the dyno. And before that, it was a stock Veyron for like 2,000 miles. So it really has had no time to break in and do all that shit.
I can add timing, but we're probably out of boost.
Okay. You want to add timing?
The fuel is flat there, so we're not running out of fuel.
What do you want to do?
I can also, I can log the timing. That was one of the
Now,
options.
if we add timing and it makes power, it took it. If we add timing and it doesn't take it,
Then we're done.
then we're done.
All right.
So one more.
One more. Maybe 2. If it works.
If it works, yeah. So this is the last one, I think. I didn't add any timing. He's on race fuel, but this last car we added timing. We can't log it, so we're gonna see if power goes up, then it took it, then we can do more. If power stays the same or goes down, we'll revert back to the last file and just play it safe.
So, why don't you load the other one back in? 7?
Yep.
And 7. 7 was the best tune?
7.
7. We'll load 7 back in, run it again,
Yeah.
and just to see. All right, we'll run this one twice, and if it increases, I want to run it until it decreases. So that's what just happened right now. The more we ran number 7, the more it went up. And then the last 7 we ran, it went to like, 1,040, and we're like, oh shit, let's add some more. We ran 8, it did the same. So then he's like, I'll add timing. So we ran 9, and it went up, but it didn't go up like a lot. It went up like 11 horsepower, but we never gave it a shot. So we're on 8.
You probably gained a little horsepower and not torque.
No, we gained torque the same. The highest torque level we got is 1125. So let's run this one twice.
They're putting the final tune in it right now, which apparently we've already run that one, and we're going to start the car, run it one more time to make sure everything's good, and then we're done.
So we're gonna go back one to file 7, but he wants me to adjust the verbal so it doesn't make too much noise when he's putting around. So I'm taking the low end verbals out.
It's obviously functional, it's low miles, it's got a lot of life ahead of it as long as we don't screw something up on it. Just really down to whether or not Houston decides to try to go bigger. I think he's going to do the intelligent thing and put a couple tanks of gas and just drive it a little bit, see if there any bugs pop up. Hopefully. Ran out of fuel, but I think they ran out of timing.
Yeah, timing we can't add it. Every time I add a timing, power drops. So. I'm satisfied. This is the highest horsepower gain a Bugatti Veyron has ever had with the tune. So I can confidently say we have something that nobody else in the world has.
It's pretty sick.
I can't wait to see how it drives on the road.
It's pretty epic, guys. Look, we have just built not only the fastest Veyron in the world, but we built it from the one that went into water for almost an hour, guys. Like, you gotta think about how crazy this is. We took the shittiest Veyron and made it the best Veyron in the entire world. Literally the best one. Now, you know, my color choices are subjective. I get that. You don't have to like my purple on orange. It doesn't really matter. And to be honest with you, I'll probably paint it again because I'm in like a white mood now. So spoiler alert, I might be white on orange next week. But what matters is that this is a completed project. We have nothing left to change, to build, to do, other than like our creativity, right? We got the motor dialed in. We've made 30% more horsepower than a stock Veyron, almost, like high 20s. And we did it in 20 hours or less on the dyno. And it's pretty wild. We've got the coolest sounding exhaust. We probably are spitting, man, damn near 4-foot flames. You can't see them because it's bright as shit outside. But basically, we've knocked down every checkbox on this build. What's next? I'll probably go over what this cost. And I've got a couple aesthetic upgrades to finalize. I want to change a couple things about the interior. I really do like the door panels, but they didn't come out exactly the way I like them because of the fiber optic cables having some angle adjustments, so you're missing some of the little lights if you look at it the wrong way, which I don't like. So I'm going to change that a little bit. I'm probably going to change the dash as well, not because I don't like it, but because I had a really cool idea and I'm going to test out some stuff. So I want to let you guys know what it took to get the car out of the water to this position right here. So that's going to be a pretty interesting video, so you got to stay tuned for that. So we started tuning this car. It's almost probably been a year, right? Yeah. I mean, we started this process a year ago, and it had its learning curves, right? I mean, just, you can, I don't want to speak for you because you know all this information, so just tell me what happened.
Yeah, so it's interesting because I'm the only one who sees what's going on in the magic box, so I know when I do something right, and when something's not working, you know, I'm confused because I'm like, okay, there has to be a hardware mechanical issue. So it was really frustrating. You know what I mean? Like, if I can't do something, I lose sleep over it.
Sure.
So I asked a couple people about it. I was like, okay, we're having problems with this car. Like, I think the last time one side was boosting to the moon, the other side was doing nothing.
Yeah, we had a wastegate issue.
Yeah, so I asked a Bugatti tech. There's only like 3 or 4 certified guys in the country.
Yeah, it's a really tight-knit community. So the guy you talked to is in San Diego. Yeah. And he has his own shop now. Yeah. Right? And so he was the original guy that was like the certified tech for all the Bugattis. Kind of like the guy who started the mechanic shop for Bugatti, essentially. He was the first employee. His name's David Nolte. So
yeah, so I ran into him, I was asking him questions, and he said, is it Houston's car? I said, yeah. And he's like, I told Houston that thing will never run.
Yeah, so I called him because, you know, I had a couple of Veyrons before we bought this car, and so I'd always talk to him, and we were friends, and, you know, he gave me all the great information I needed. And when I called him to buy this car before I bought it, he was like, no way, don't do it. He's like, that engine's full of water. And I said, how could it be full of water if it only went halfway up and the intakes are on top of the car? Like, even I'm not a mechanic, like, I kind of figured that out, right? So that car had gone to Beverly Hills and it was inspected before, like, this is probably 2010 or 11. This is when he was there, right? Because I think he left in 15. Okay. And the guy who bought it in like 15, he, the dude Frank or whatever, he didn't know anybody at the dealer. But ironically, that's where I met him because he was trying to meet people at the dealer. Okay. So yeah, that guy David, he just said no, 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 no. Not only that, like, Bugatti said no to everybody else. Yeah. For some reason, they said yes to me. I don't know, maybe because I was just persistent. And I got him at those, like, Monterey car events, you know, the ownership events. I was like, hey guys, like, I got this idea. I'm gonna put this together. And they were like, no. Then they were like drunk. And then they were like, okay, fine, we'll figure it out.
Persistence is key.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're like me, where someone says you can't do something, you're gonna do it.
The fact of the thing is that no one has ever taken a Bugatti apart in history, right? The dealers haven't ever taken the engine out of the car.
Yeah, I heard that.
I'm the only one that's ever taken an engine out of a Bugatti. So it's kind of like, that's why it was so challenging, because there was never there's no experience. Yeah. Right? So yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to finish the car. I wanted to, like, get it done. And now we made it better. Yeah. We changed the interior. I mean, yeah, obviously it's subjective, but, you know, It makes more power. Look at the way it sounds.
Yeah.
That was all me.
Very unique.
I mean, it sounds crazy. I wish we had two here, that we could load a stock one on, and then people would see it back to back to feel the difference.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's pretty wild. But yeah, David was wrong. Maybe I should drive it to San Diego and just do some donuts in David's parking lot and then leave. You know?
idea.
He's watching these videos for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Tell him I told you so.